talking about the metro area. We got the Brooklyn shooter got caught.
The Brooklyn shooter. Let me just jump in
why is
real
he called
quick
the Brooklyn shooter?
because I know you're going to take it because you're
from
the
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn guy.
Yes.
But this is what happened to me. I stupidly signed on and looked at Facebook, right? And the first thing I see is this New York Times article about this Brooklyn shooter, and a comment got me. Yes. I had to say something,
Go ahead.
and it just flooded for like the next 45 minutes. And I was like, what did I do?
What'd you say?
This is why I'm not on Facebook anymore.
What did you say?
I simply said,
Simply.
America doesn't have a gun problem. We have a crime problem. And that sent people fucking spinning.
Of course it did.
America doesn't have a gun problem.
Spinning.
America has a crime problem.
In other words, the people that are very anti-gun are going to go,
Yeah, and they were like, that's ridiculous. You know, guns are crimes. Well, no, they're not. This is exactly what happens when you have disastrous policies for the last 3 years that let criminals out on the street.
Okay.
That's just what happens.
Can I? Okay.
Okay? You have a lawless society. How do I know this? I got buddies that are cops. They're pulling their fucking hair out in the city right now because they'll pick someone up off the corner for doing whatever illegal crime, and 5 hours later, they're right back on that corner doing the same thing.
I know, but okay, you just opened up two cans at the same time. You're double fisting right
It's
now.
bad policy.
Jesse's double fisting.
he's fucking Edward 40 handsing right now.
I know,
That's what he's
'cause
doing.
You're double fisting.
Let's talk about Brooklyn.
Okay, what was the first thing you said? Because now you want me. I want
Gun- we
I'm
don't have
sorry.
a gun
I didn't
problem, we
mean
have
to,
a
I didn't mean
crime
to
problem.
spin out of control. This
Okay,
is just like
yes.
what happened when I went
Okay.
on Facebook.
We don't have a gun problem. We have a crime
But
problem.
a dude in a gas mask
Okay, hold on.
lit up
Slow down.
the subway. What stop was it?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, but I get it.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It was a train.
okay.
Go on.
I do understand that in some states where people carry, that crime is lower. But I think people make a false equivalency to certain states. Like, I would not compare everyone in New York being strapped to everyone in Texas being strapped. It's just a different climate. There's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more history. So if everyone in New York had legal right to carry, I don't think crime would go down.
In New York.
In New York, no. I think that it may be impacted. I think people would maybe feel safer, but I don't think crime as a segment.
Well, let me just ask you then: if you're this guy who's toting a gas mask and a handgun,
I think he would instead of shooting 6 people, he would have shot 2.
before he was gunned down.
Exactly. So
But what I'm saying is, like, once that cycle starts to repeat, you
I know what he's
change the
gonna say.
culture
Yeah.
of society.
I get it,
and
but-
now
a lot
you
of
don't
deaths.
have people running up,
exactly.
shooting up amok
I get it,
because
but
they're gonna get gunned down.
okay.
You know.
And I always come on the show, and I'm the guy that I think Americans are dumb. I think Americans are lazy. I think we're this. I think we're that. But as much as I believe in Americans and I believe in all of us, I don't think we're all running around like John Wayne. You remember fucking in Die Hard 2 when the guy when the Hans Grettel's like everyone's running around like fucking John Wayne, like they're not fucking like. I would like to believe that Americans in a perfect society are trained, licensed carriers. They understand what to do with weapons. They use their Second Amendment rights, and they protect each other from other people. I'd love to believe that. I don't. That's one. Second of all, I think people struggle with crime and criminals. There's 2 types of criminals. There's the organized criminal, which means I wake up every day, fuck that guy. We're going to rob him today. We're going to rob the business. We're going to rob this association. You and I are a gang collectively, and we know how we're going to do this. Mafia's an example. Gangs are an example, blah. And then there's it's not premeditated. It's fucking
Crazy people.
Psycho, fucking wake up.
Yeah,
life,
I lost all my money in
yes,
a
life,
dice game
life,
last
life
night.
hits you, and you're
I need diapers.
and yeah, you have a poor reaction to life hitting you, and you react in a criminal way.
Right.
And the reason I bring that up is because until that moment, when you cross that threshold, you're still an active participant of legal society. Then you cross this line and you become a criminal. You know? And us being licensed and won't stop that. And I think ultimately, and that's what I was trying to catch when you were doing this, the double fisting, is that the police. There's a big issue with the police department, and there's always been. They don't deter crime; they solve it, so to speak. I don't know if they solve it because
right, because think about when the police had stop and frisk, let's say. That was one of the first ideas of crime prevention. You look suspect, I'm going to stop you and see what you have on you to prevent a crime. And that violated people's civil liberties.
And this is the problem.
So that's where crime prevention, this is why I always bring it back down to culture. There's a reason why there's a reason why these southern states that have a gun culture have lower crime. Do you have your corner store robbings? Of course you do.
Yeah, but
do you have your your muggings? Of course you do. But what I'm saying is that think about this scenario. You're in a subway station, a crazy guy comes off with a gas mask and a handgun on, pulls out a gun and opens fire. Instead of everyone ducking and trying to run,
they shoot back.
Everyone pulls on him. How many times is that going to happen until people are like,
I think, you know why?
Yo, you just can't do it.
The reason why I don't fully believe in that is because people know the jail consequences of the crimes that they do, and they still commit crimes every day. Like our whole system is...
Not in New York. People don't give a shit about, because they're not going to jail.
I know, but my point is...
Like you have to do a lot of... You have to kill someone.
Your argument is based on fear. It's a fear factor. It's... I'm not going to do certain things because the society is going to fight back with me. But what I'm trying to tell you is our justice system proves just the opposite, because they're not going to die. They're not going to go to jail. They're going to do whatever, or the police, and people are still committing crimes.
Well, the justice system fails us regularly.
Yes,
the justice system is corrupt.
And I think that at the end of the day,
I don't mean to cut you off, but like what I feel like has the least amount of corruption is
the citizens having guns.
Just the willfulness for a peaceful society amongst the citizens. You know what I mean? Like, proof is right here. The three of us can coexist in a room without having to punch each other. And this happened before we were friends, when we met each other for the first times. You know what I mean? Why? Because we have a different mindset to society than criminals do. We've all been down and out. We've all been but have you ever robbed a store? Did you ever
Jesse,
knock an old lady out and grab her purse?
He's not gonna admit that on camera.
But I'm just saying. I know he hasn't. Is what I'm saying, because
$5. That sounds like a race joke.
I know the character of Gene. You know what I mean? I know he hasn't done that. You know.
But
my point is that I just. Yes, is it a bit naive of me to say this? Am I living in that, I guess,
slightly.
Libertarian utopia
Yeah,
of if everyone is packing, crime will lessen? Sure. Do I know that's going to happen?
No.
Also,
but also,
no chance you want to take.
I would take that chance.
A lot of people
just
wouldn't,
because
though.
I have a lot of belief in the people.
No, listen. And this is why I prefaced it before, because I do believe in people, and I even believe in Americans and everything that we go through. I do highlight certain realities, and I also tell you this. Back to the culture. Like, it's so easy to see the gun culture.
I want to expand on this when you're done, please.
It's easy for us to touch on the gun culture in different states and stuff like that, and how it can be good or bad. But I think that there's also underlying community culture. I think that there's a lot of things that are happening in certain places. Like, we have to address why they happen. And
well, sure. Look at Florida, right? Florida is like a willy-nilly gun state, and then you have areas of Jacksonville that's a fucking war zone.
That's what I'm saying,
right?
What drives me about
it's the condensed area, by the way.
Exactly. And yes,
they always say people shouldn't be on top of each other like that.
That's what I'm saying.
We need to be apart.
America, we built this. And the thing about
urban settings.
Yes, what drives me up crazy about America is like, why can't we just admit we fucked up inner cities? We fucked up. We fucked up. It's too condensed.
But the willfulness of the government wants to do away with the suburbs because it's more economical and environmentally friendly. Why do you think you notice even locally around here, you see all these high rises coming up? Like that's the start of it, to urbanize
You know what? No,
these
but
areas
let's be
so
honest.
that we
They're all
live
old
on
Jesse,
top of
fucking
each other.
people
Jesse,
homes.
that has nothing to do with the environment. Let's be fucking honest.
Agreed.
That's
Has
all
nothing to do with
fucking
the
money
environment.
Oh,
all
no, it's
the
got nothing
time.
to do with
You
environment.
want to
We all
know
know
the best
that.
way
time.
to do with the
Crime-
environment? Give people a lot of land and let
Listen,
them preserve areas of it.
Crime, criminality. I don't want to come across that like this, but when you take our republic and you infuse it with the highest level of capitalism, and I know it's not capitalism the way you define it, but the greed that comes from it,
Thank God he said that. Go on.
that cannot, like the greed is, I cannot see a scenario in the United States capitalist model where the greed cannot exist. It's a byproduct.
100%.
Just like poverty is a byproduct.
Yes.
They're the two opposites. The greed creates that.
Well,
And-
hold on. I mean, greed also creates poverty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
The-
okay.
the greed-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I got
Yeah.
you. Now, sorry.
No, perfect. I'm glad we're 100%. So the greed
That was
creates
great, though.
the greed creates the poverty, and that needs to be addressed. And then 20 years ago, I was not a big proponent of this mental health thing. Like I was like, yo, because I'm from the man up society. Just
Word.
do it, get
Get
it
your
done.
shit together.
Get your shit together. But
Men don't talk to
America, we have a mental health crisis, and COVID did not make it any better. It
No,
made it
not at
worse.
all.
And I'm not excusing this guy. This guy's a piece of crap. He needs to. But we have a problem where shit like this is happening.
All right, so spending on that, so Jason Whitlock, do you know who he is?
yes,
You know who he is.
Jason Whitlock. Oh my God.
He has a theory, though.
You would love him.
And I want to know,
because
yes, he would
He
love
was a
him.
black Republican, pretty much. I got kicked off TV
Yeah.
for being.
He was on, I think, Tim Cast or whatever,
Yeah, he
Tim
used to
Pool's
abuse,
show.
LeBron
But-
and all those guys.
He
Yeah,
has a
take him
theory,
lightly.
though.
And Colin Kaepernick.
He has a
on
he has a
Colin
theory. You would, if you saw him, you'd know who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a theory about media causing people to be almost like black nationalists.
Media. being
Media,
black.
in other words,
Like,
making
walk me
people
through
his thing is that the media is making black people feel like they're more oppressed than what they actually are, and that they should fight back, and they're making black nationalists. That was his theory. I don't know about this. That's why I'm
I
talking
mean, that's
to him.
literally been Candace Owens' stance
They're
since
probably
she
on
came
the
out.
same fucking, you know,
No,
they're
I-
on the same. I can't comment on it.
No, you can comment, but I'm going to tell you.
No, I really don't. I can't because I
I'm
don't.
gonna- okay.
I don't watch that shit anyway.
No, you can.
Here's the problem.
No, I
You
don't
can
watch it. I
because no,
can't.
what I'm saying is
Jesse-
you can because you've grown up in a society for this many years
When I say I can't,
with people around you.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I can't because I don't really watch the news like that.
JP.
Oh,
Okay. Here-
why I can't.
Here's the issue with the Candace Owens and all of them, and the black struggle, the black situation, the black whatever you want to call it, is 100% real. I have arguments on both sides with everybody about this. I'm always and will always be on the school of thought that we have individual accountability. As people, as a black person, as a member of a black community, black people in general, we have individual accountability of where we are. Do I want to sit there and spend hours on the history and how we got here? No, because
Take a while.
you either know it or you're in denial. That's where I'm at. You may not know the specifics, but you fucking get the big picture. You don't know the details or the stars of the movie, but you know what the fuck happened. So let's get rid of that. But the financing and the way they've made racism so fucking profitable
Yeah.
on both sides,
Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
fucking insane. It's
what are we at? We're at like $61 million is unaccounted for in donations to Black Lives Matter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm at a point where like,
And that chick
now,
bought
I can
bought
make
a
money.
few mansions.
I can make money
Like,
by saying
bad.
I can make money by saying you're racist.
Right.
And then I can make money by saying you're not racist. Like, it's fucking money everywhere. It's fucking money everywhere. And there's people funding both sides.
Yeah.
Because the only way
Wouldn't
to
it
stop
be crazy if it was the same guy
I wouldn't be
funding
shocked
both
because-
sides?
Would you be surprised?
You know why?
Honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised because what happens is they need each other to coexist.
The Clintons.
Yeah.
And that guy, I believe he means well. in his own way. Jason Whitlock in his own way. Because I used to watch. He used to have a show that I still watch to this day. It was called fuck. It's on channel. It's at 3:00. Speak.
Move on.
Whatever, but it'll come to me. Anyway, it's been since taken over by Marcus Wiley and Emmanuel Acho, and it comes after Undisputed. Long story short, and Colin Coward. Long story short, he got fired off his own show. He used to bring them on, and they kept those two guys, and they pretty much fired him for being too conservative. Pretty much, which is weird because
Sounds about right.
Because he's on FS1, which is Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, but Fox
is Fox.
Yeah,
So
but it's not.
But the point is, when black people challenge our being used by liberal media and liberal organizations in itself and the Democratic Party, they are not wrong. What I don't allow is the absolution of the other side. Like, and I always tell you, what do I always tell you? Democrats tell you something's wrong. They're part of it. They point at the other guy.
Right.
This is what the other guy's doing to you. The other guy, Republicans, just act like it's not happening. What do you mean? Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Shit like that. Like, motherfucker, get your hand off my neck. How about that one? Get your foot off my neck. The point is, like, and this is why black people more than others, and that's not fair because I'm speaking for myself, but that whole lesser of two evils is how the Democratic Party has won for so many years.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they vote Democrat. It's like, at least he admits something's wrong. While the other guy just like, figured out, dude.
Well,
out.
you know what?
I figured out. My kids figured out. We all figured out. We get it. We fucking get it. You figured it out.
Before I made like the hard turn to libertarianism, that was like, you know, one of the things that really was like discouraging with the Republican Party is that it's like you're really bad at delivering your message, you know, like on like what you really stand for, and they really allow the other side to overtake. It's like almost they're like, well, whatever, you could talk to the children. We're speaking to the adults. You know what I mean? And like that only works for a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying?
But can I tell you?
But like, because like my whole thing is like the reason why I never understood why people. Okay, this is gonna sound really bad.
Go spit it.
This is my favorite.
When I see people voting Democrat, I go, why? You obviously know very little. You know very little about American politics and the way things work. Because if you did, you wouldn't vote for more of it. So that's just my mentality, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the Republican Party does a really bad job of delivering their message and sticking with their roots. And like this is why they lost me, is because they've really become like they've wish-washed into the same coin, right? And like that's been like a saying now for the last couple decades. Two sides of the same coin. Like it really is that way now,
because they're competing. That's the problem.
They just want to own them.
One
side wants to own the other
want
side.
more government.
True.
One of you is upfront and honest about it.
And
the other one is
lying.
still holding on to what the party used to be.
And this is what we're talking about. And this is
you both accept bribes. You both let the Hill decide who and what goes on. Like it's all just a disgusting. This is why
Why don't we move on?
they do a terrible job.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
but
I understand.
But
Okay.
the Dems are going to get washed in this next one.
They will. Even Bill
They're
Maher
gonna
said
get
it.
no, but you have to understand just a little tidbit. It is very common in the United States for the Congress to turn to the opposite party when the president.
Yes. Yes.
Like we've always done this, and the reason why is
Same
because
shit, different year.
we're an emotional country that it's you're fucking up. So it's
Right.
and which is why
Both
why
parties
I
need to split. Is what happens.
Listen,
to happen. You need to have a
since
progressive
you're
party.
one of your
Right, your AOCs and them need to
Yeah.
head up the progressive party. Then you need your
Conser-
Clintons and Bidens to be the moderates,
And then you need your
and you're going to
conservatives.
take some moderate Republicans over to the moderate side, and then let your Mitch McConnell conservatives and
At the end of the day, I forgot who it is that said it.
neocons
I
fucking
don't know if it
run
was.
their.
It's either John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, or Thomas Jefferson, but they said it. They feared that a two-party system
Yes. Yeah.
would be our downfall, and they're fucking right.
Yep.
And now you take the two-party system and you introduce high capitalism that we just talked about in the previous section. You have exactly where we're at.
It wouldn't be the first time that we blew up
exactly where we're at.
parties. Like
The reason we can't blow up
we didn't
parties.
always have the Democrats and the Republicans.
The reason why we can't blow up
They had
parties.
the wigs.
We sure do. Whose jowls hang lower?
The reason we can't blow up parties is because they have sensationalized.
Well, they're blowing it up themselves. So
No, but let me
Fair
say-
enough.
No, yeah, but they blow it up. But when it's
you're gonna have a lot more independent voters in the next coming years,
Jesse.
bro. I'm being dead serious. Just because I didn't stop talking to
I know.
these crazy college kids after they've graduated. Like
Jesse.
I stay up and a lot of these crazy.
Jesse.
Let me just.
Jesse.
A lot of these crazy libs
Jesse.
What?
I just have to do this.
are not going. They're not voting blue. Like after this last election, a lot of them are going towards the independent route,
Jesse,
which is exactly what this country needs.
What?
we had Ross Perot.
No, we didn't. Stop.
No,
we had
stop
Ross
with
Perot
Ross
in the 90s.
Perot.
We had Ross Perot in the 90s. Full House
That
was,
was-
still
yeah.
on.
Okay, we had
And the dirtiest comedian in the world
we
was
had-
the fucking father,
what's Rand Paul's dad's name? The old-
Sean Paul.
No.
Ron?
Was that his name?
Ron Paul.
He ran.
Yep.
Okay. We
Again,
had.
what do you say? I'm saying that right now, like it takes a very long time.
Okay. I'm
It's
glad
a
you admit
slow
that.
burn.
Yeah, like
Of course.
I'm talking
I mean,
about
listen.
2 decades.
This is why I said I looked at the 2020 election. I didn't look at that as a failure for the Libertarian Party.
Was that the most they've ever got? I was about to ask.
That was the most votes the Libertarian Party has ever received in a national election. They were damn near on every ballot in every state.
I'm with
Like
you.
that's
That's a
huge.
start.
I
And
think-
now-
Joe Jorgensen, who nobody knew, I liked her.
Which is a failure right there.
I liked
and
her.
that's the issue.
I had a
That's also media's
bunch
fault.
of problems with her, but
No, JB.
what I'm
That's
saying
media's
is, Gene,
fault.
like she
You could
got
say no.
she
It
was
is.
in the percentile. You know
know,
what I mean?
but-
She got
but
a lot of votes.
JB,
So there are a lot of
You
people
see how
switching over.
passionate he is about this? If the libertarians are that passionate about Joe Jorgensen, then they need to do it
They're
better.
not.
weren't.
But
But that's
here's
the
the
thing, they
thing.
weren't.
Here's the thing.
There
CNN
you go.
and Fox.
So
and-
let's be honest.
Also, but if
Because
CNN
they
and
were not-
Fox don't want anyone to talk about
understand,
them,
but
no one talks about
You're
them.
right, but
They're
Let
not
me
allowed
explain to you how the Libertarian Party works differently. I've explained this before. They don't work like the major
I know,
national
you explained
conventions.
it, I remember.
You have if you're a registered libertarian, you vote for a president nominee
I get it.
and a vice, not a together
I get it, but
ticket.
Jesse,
So that's one of the problems with the Libertarian Party is that they still have figureheads that go up with
Jesse,
bucket cones on their head, and like people don't take them seriously.
the reason why I'm expressing the frustration is that parties that win do what it takes to win. The Republican Party, Donald Trump is a perfect example. They did not want the guy.
Right, but that's all being exposed.
And then
now.
they decided he was the best thing for the win. It's about winning. The Democratic Party
Well, I mean, he
cheats.
He also
They know
won the most.
they
got the
practiced
most
cheating
votes.
by using Hillary against Bernie, and then when they mastered that, they fucking did it to Donald Trump. That's it. You do what it takes to win, and the Libertarian Party does not. It's the same reason why I kind of like Bernie Sanders, but whenever people talk to me about him, I'm like, he burned out. He was a burnout because at the end, when Hillary did what she did to him,
Well, he sold out.
for everything that he says he stood up for,
He went against.
that was the time to be like, my whole career has come up to finally taking one of you motherfuckers down.
Yeah.
And this is the moment.
Yep.
Instead, it's like, yeah, you're right.
Now I'll take the lake house instead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is
Retire, man.
and-
That's it.
And this is the problem with all of this. The people are gonna vote better. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. It's so complicated. And like with your previous statement, the Republican Party is the old white man party. They have modern tricks. They have modern players, but they still play the same offense, and which is what you were referring to. And the Democratic Party is the old white man party. However, they have everybody around them. The old white man sits in the back or in the basement, like last election.
Yeah.
And everybody else does the work.
I
That's the difference.
I need a transition button. You know,
Yep.
whip, 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 transition.
Go ahead.
This is exactly why, like going off of what you're saying, this is why we need more people like a Donald Trump or an Elon Musk. You know, someone who's willing to
Buck the
step
system.
into that fire, not caring about the economical consequences that might come, because they got it like that, you know. And it's like, okay,